Hi guys, we'll start in another minute or so. I think we have done till what question number? I don't remember actually. One second. I do not remember. Question number 18 or 20th, something like that. But let's get into another discussion and then we can. Were we at 18 or 20? I think we had finished quite a few scenarios. Does anybody recall? One second, let me check.
Sir, I think 19th was done. Responding to market changes, it was done.
Okay.
20th, we need to start.
Okay. Fine. So we'll do that probably a little later. For now, we are going to first start an important topic which we had not done earlier, which is Jira spillovers. So let us say there are a lot of spillovers in your team. What are you going to do? How are you going to react? What are the solutions for that? So question could be scenario based. They could ask you, let us say a team is struggling with velocity. It has a low velocity, or the velocity is fluctuating, or the team has low morale, or the team is not able to complete its deliverables, or there are issues in release. All of these questions. Plus, why should we hire you? What have you done in the past? How you will improve the team? All of those things. You understood, right? So a lot of times people tell me, Joy, but you never covered why we should be hired. Array, you should be hired because you can make a average team into an above average or a productive team. How? What is a below average or an average team? A team which cannot complete its story. So let us say you have 20% of the stories or 30% of the stories or 10% of the stories are getting completed. That's a low productivity team. Then how are you going to improve it? That is why you should be hired. So what do you do to address the spillovers? So, okay, let us hear it from one by one. Each of you can give me 1 point, and then of course we'll discuss more. But what do you think? Who wants to start? So the question is clear. If there are spillovers, if there is a low productivity team, what are you going to do? What are the reasons why a team is low productivity team, and how you are going to fix it? You understood the question? They are asking you, I have a team which is, they are committing very high points. They are committing 100 points, but they are only able to do 30 points. Or they are committing, or it's a team which has a lot of spillovers. What are you going to do to fix this team? Yes, Wasim sir. So you have to tell me the reasons, then you have to tell me the root cause, and you have to give me the solution.
Okay,
Just 1 point. Just 1 point.
First of all, I'd like to know that the team is facing any knowledge gap or a skill gap in their team.
Okay. So you are saying that the spillovers could happen because there could be a knowledge gap or a skill gap.
Yes.
Okay. What could be the reason for it?
maybe some person is good in Java or Python. He doesn't work in other softwares and or other application APIs. So there should be a proper training with the consent of the PO and the architecture, if that person can be given, or he can be given more less prioritized work so that he can cope up with the things, and after that he should be given some chances to develop as a uh, develop as a developer, and then he can gradually start giving his productivity.
Okay. Okay, so I agree actually. So one of the reasons that we could have spillovers is we could have people where there is a skill gap or knowledge gap. So skill gap and knowledge gap can occur because of two things. Is it a domain knowledge which is lacking, or is it the technical skill which is lacking? If it is domain knowledge, healthcare domain knowledge is not there, or basics of banking is not there, whatever the domain is, then PO has to do multiple sessions. If it is a technical skill issue, then how big is the gap? Can we include him in a pair programming kind of a strategy? Or can we include, or even pair programming will not work if the basics are not clear. In that case, we need to get into the, we need to take the help from organization to arrange a proper training for that resource. Okay, so that is understood. Yeah, Abhilasha. So, but does anybody wants to add on skill gap or knowledge gap? Skill gap is basically your technical skill. Knowledge gap could be your domain knowledge is not there. So domain knowledge PO can fix. Technical gap can be fixed by either pair programming or a proper training by the subject matter expert. Yes. Any concerns on this? This is clear. Okay, Abhilasha wants to add. Okay, this is good. Yes,
Yeah.
Abhilasha.
So actually, I'll follow the step-by-step things. First, I will communicate and listen, like ask open-ended question, what is the issue or which kind of issue he
No,
or she is
process we
having.
can. So give me the exact reason. Don't tell me the process is fine. But so first reason which Wasim sir gave is knowledge gap or skill gap.
Skill
What
gap.
could be the reason? What is the root cause and what is the solution? Anyone?
Okay, so apart from knowledge or skill gap, there might be some communication issue. I mean, we will try to find out what exactly
So that's
that
what I'm
person
saying.
is. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
that's fine. We will try to find out is fine. What are in your experience, why do teams don't do spillover? Why do teams have spillover? What is the
yeah.
most popular reason as per you?
So knowledge gap or skills gap, then the domain knowledge, lacking of domain
That's
knowledge,
done.
then
That's
there
done.
might be
That's done.
communication, there might be communication issues. So maybe we can provide some kind of soft skill
What
training or
kind?
something.
What do you mean by communication gap?
Somebody is not able to express the things actually just because of the communication problem. It might happen. Somebody is very sound in technical things, but not able to like.
So let us say I am very good technically and I am not able to communicate. So what happens? So how will it? I will come if I'm good technically. I will complete my story. Why would there be a spillover?
But might be he or she is not able to ask the question which is needed, and because of that there might be like things or features or the functionality might be missing because he or she is not conveyed properly.
I think what you're saying is actually correct, but let's articulate it better. So
Can
This is what I
can I
am.
add some based on the previous retrospective or sprint retrospective reviews and all, we can based on that we can enhance the grooming calls so that there will be a clear view for the developing team and testing team so that they can perform well and they can understand the sprint goal and they can perform well and they can they can avoid the sprint spillovers and they can work on the backlog.
Basically,
So
you guys are saying that lack of clarity in the
clarity.
requirements is the reason, correct?
Yes.
That's how we can put this. Lack of clarity in the requirement or communicating with the product owner, the peers, the tech lead. So these are two different reasons, right? One is lack of communication or lack of communication skills in the team, where they are not able to ask the right questions to the product owner to have more clarity on the requirements. So that is one of the key reasons as per Abhilasha, which I agree. So how do you fix this issue? You fix this issue by making sure that you have a psychological safety. People are not afraid of asking questions, and sometimes people have a fear of public speaking, so they may not be able to express themselves in the grooming calls. If it is a larger team, in that case, they can have a one-on-one connect with the product owner to have more clarity on the issues. But at the same time, you can enroll them in some communication sessions on which sometimes the organization also has different trainings on the communication skills. You can enroll and you can also work with that person to improve their communication so that they can communicate with the product owner. Okay. The other aspect is if there is lack of clarity in the story, then of course you can say grooming, invest, DOR, those three things.
One of the real scenario which I faced is like while grooming time, we couldn't identify that there is a dependency of the product which we are developing. We couldn't identify that it has a dependency, and while testing we are okay, but while going on the production post sprint we have got issues and all. Again, it came as a backlog to us.
Understood.
So
like basically the reason is very simple: inadequate story refinement.
That's true. Yes.
Inadequate story refinement is the proper reason, which is I think the second most popular reason. Inadequate story refinement, which means that developers and the testers are not clear with the acceptance criteria. They have some incorrect assumptions or some clarity is missing. Dependencies are not identified or some issues are not yet. Okay, so then how do you fix them? Invest, DOR, and grooming. So grooming sessions, enforce DOR, and make sure invest is applied to. Okay, fine. So inadequate story refinement, skill gap, knowledge gap, lack of communication in the team members. That could be, you can actually, lack of communication can also be a skill gap, Abhilasha. I would say lack of communication. See, so when you hire somebody, you are hiring them from two skills. One is the technical skills or whatever is domain you are hiring. The second is the communication skills also. So if somebody does not have communication skills, that could be a skill gap or a knowledge gap also. Because it is one thing to know your domain or subject, but you have to communicate also. If you are not able to communicate, that's a skill gap. So that is that should ideally come under knowledge or skill gap. And then second is inadequate story refinement, where Venkatesh sir, what we are discussing is why are there spillovers in the Agile or Scrum teams? What are the most popular reasons? In your experience, why have teams typically not even able to complete their stories? And what are we going to fix it? So the two reasons which we have discussed is, number one, knowledge gap, skill gap. It could be lack of domain knowledge. It could be lack of technical knowledge. It could be lack of communication skills. The second is lack of story refinement, where acceptance criteria is not clear, dependencies are not sorted out, those kind of issues, for which we have DOR, invest, and grooming sessions. For the first, there are trainings and pair programming. How do you fix the skill gap or knowledge gap? Internal trainings, external trainings, pair programming. And how do you fix story refinement? 2 or 3 grooming calls per sprint, DOR, and invest. Okay. So any clarifications on these 2 points? Are these 2 points clear? Why should we hire you? Because, sir, I know lack of story refinement is a very common problem in the team. I will fix it by making sure the grooming sessions happen, acceptance criteria is clear, invest will be followed, DOR will be done. I will make sure. Then the second most important reason is the skill gap. Skill gap could be domain knowledge problem, where I will encourage the PO to give that knowledge to the people. It could be technical skill. I will fix it with pair programming or organizational training. Lack of communication skill, again, organizational training and one-on-one coaching. So these 2 points should be clear to you guys. Okay, then next, Deepak sir, let's go with you. What is the third reason, in your opinion?
The third reason, maybe they have a pattern of the stories not being completed. So what I will suggest the team is, I would maintain a transparency, but by telling them what is in the backlog and what we have completed currently, and what was completed in the previous sprints. So in this previous sprint, what are the stories that are completed and what is incomplete in the backlog? And I would ask them in the sprint retrospective to discuss.
So again, this is the corrective action. We are not, we want the direct answers. I want the reasons. In your experience, what has been the reason? It's knowledge gap, lack of story refinement, those two. What is the reason? You are telling me about the process. The process is you will try to find out the root cause analysis. You will do an RCA. You will do the corrective action in sprint retrospective. That is fine. But in your experience, why teams have failed to complete their story?
Sir, I think that they overcommit because of the pressure from the
That
manager.
is a beauty. In fact, that is the number one reason, overcommitment. Okay, yeah, explain that. Yeah.
So because of the pressure from the management and to give value to the customer, so they try to, they expect the team to complete the work immediately as soon as possible. And so because of this pressure, the team commits, overcommits. And because of the overcommitment, during the actual sprints, they fail to deliver actual value because they try to complete the work and there is less focus on quality and more focus on quantity. So because of this, they overcome it. So I think this is another reason.
I would take your answer. So this is actually the most important. People and how to fix it. Okay, this is overcommitment is an issue. Why it happens? Because under pressure from the management, they would commit more than their capacity. How to fix it?
We can fix it by actual data, like once 1 or 2 sprints are over, we can tell the management, see, the stories are not being completed because the team is overcommitting and this is the data, this is the metrics I have derived, this is my velocity.
Okay, okay. So that, okay, the management says, okay, boss, I agree with you. Then how, what will you do? What action you will take?
Then I would tell the management clearly, see, the quality of the work we cannot commit because we have
understood. Management agrees to you. Then what is the action? As a Scrum Master, what action you will take? Sorry, I am grilling you guys because we are at that stage where I have to. So what action you will take?
I will make it official. I will write a mail or send a mail to the management. This is what we have discussed. And this is what we have decided. And this is what you said, that it is fine if we overcommit and it's not a problem.
So how you will find the capacity then? and how you will implement
I
it.
would try to hire more people. I would tell the management
Oh,
we
Baba,
would need.
what I see how you will implement is you will have in the sprint planning, you will have your capacity sheet or the availability sheet and your average velocity. So based on the available hours and the average velocity, you will decide how many stories to pick up. That is how you will implement, right? So hiring is a different thing. So overcommitment is a problem that we understood. Now, how do you fix it? You fix it by finding out, typically, if my team is available for 200 hours, then they do 50 points of work. So then in every sprint planning, you will try to find out what is your availability hours and then what is the average velocity that you have achieved with that availability. And you will pick up stories around that mark. If it is 50, you will pick up 45, 48, 53 within 5% of that range. So if there is an overcommitment, how you will fix it? In the sprint planning, you will create a capacity sheet and you will provide the average velocity data to the team.
Okay.
So
Do
tell, okay, team, in the last 4 or 5 sprints, your average availability is 200 to 220 hours. And the average work that you do is 50 to 60 points. Or in terms of stories, 7 to 10 stories you are able to complete on an average in the last 5 sprints. So with this data, now you guys can decide what is to be picked up.
So can we disclose this to the management as well? That this is our
Yes,
velocity.
of course. See, why do you need velocity data? Because you need to know what is my average performance. So my average performance is typically team is able to do 8, 9, 10 stories around 40, 50 points. So within 40 and 50 points is what my capacity is then. And you will tell the management that if the capacity is 40 to 50 points, we should not exceed to 60, 70, 80, because that will lead to overcommitment. And once you overcommit, then the team morale goes down. It is not a sustainable level of development. So other problem with overcommitment is team's capacity is 10 stories. On an average, they are able to do 9, 10 stories. Now you have set 15 or 16 stories. Even though the team completes 10 or 11 stories, the team will still be demoralized that they could not complete 16 stories. But in reality, they have actually completed their capacity, but it's just that you have given them over and above their capacity. So, and then most of the 50, 60% of the teams are like that. They are under pressure, they are committing more. So how do you avoid it? Please respect the data. How do you respect the data? Get the average velocity, average availability hours, and based on that, decide.
So what if the management is still not flexible?
Okay, so you only said you will explain the management. Now you are asking.
Asking if they are really scenario comes like that.
If they don't agree, then you can overcommit. But the possibility of, see, if in the last 5 sprints we are able to do 8 to 10 stories typically, then if the management wants us to do 15 stories, then you will say, this is my average performance. I don't see how, if we are doing 50 points, I don't see how we are going to do 80 or 90 points. You try, okay, sir, we try. If they are not reasonable, then what can you do? Nothing. Now you are asking me not the interview scenario, you are asking me real life scenario. In real life, if people don't listen, what do you do? People don't wear a helmet, what happens? They break their head in accidents. What can you do? Nothing. If the management doesn't listen, do not respect, then you have to tell boss, you are not respecting the capacity of the team. Team will not be able to complete because we are overcommitting. That's all you can do. Okay. Or, I mean, of course, there is the other is that they say, no, we need this. So the one solution you already said, that you will add more resources. That is your only solution.
Even
Okay,
the leaves, I'm sorry. So if someone goes on an emergency leave or something, that might also like comes under this category only, right? That can cause a spillover
no,
because he would have taken few
that's
stories.
a different reason.
Okay.
Anybody goes on an unplanned leave or an
Unplanned.
emergency leave, that's a different. That is a
Okay.
different. Okay, so these three, so you want to highlight that? Mohammed sir, your reason is that? You are saying,
No, yeah, I thought that might be a reason because if someone is committed, like if he's assigned to do work on that story, and if he
no,
suddenly goes on an
overcommitment is different.
emergency.
Overcommitment is our average velocity is 50 points and we have committed 90 points.
Okay.
That is overcommitment. This is different.
Okay.
But unplanned, so you are saying unplanned reason is one of the key reasons. But if there are unplanned leaves every sprint after sprint, then these people will not be able to survive in the organization.
Okay.
You can't. So if there are 10 people, you are saying 3 or 4 people. If one person takes unplanned leave, that's not a good enough reason to not be able to complete. Okay, 1 or 2 stories may not be able. So this is a team which is 20 or 30% or 20 or 40% completion rate. They have a very low completion rate. If one person is on unplanned leave, then that should not be so. I mean, that should not be a good enough reason to have such a low completion rate. So you are saying 40% of the team is on an unplanned leave. Okay, in one sprint, that is a possibility. In next sprint, same thing. 4 out of 10 people are on an unplanned leave. No, yeah, that is not
not possible.
That is not possible.
Yeah.
So unplanned leaves could be a reason for one sprint, but not a consistent reason. Okay. Then what else? So we had 3 reasons discussed: overcommitment, skill gap, and one other. What else?
Sir, shall I go?
Omkar, no. Sorry, PC sir, please go ahead.
Okay. So unforeseen blocker or dependencies.
Good.
Okay. And second thing, poor estimate or
No. Just one. Just
lack of
elaborate
buffer.
more on that. You are
Okay.
saying
Unforeseen blockers or
unforeseen
dependency.
blocker or a dependency or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But what is the root cause of it and how do you resolve it?
Um, yeah. Actually, the thing is that when we grooming session. Okay. Am I audible? Actually, my internet is very. That's
Yes.
okay.
You are
So
audible.
when we do grooming session, that time actually we did not notice that whether dependencies was not noticed that. Okay.
Example, give me
So
an example.
for example, um, okay, for example, suppose one of the Salesforce team, okay, involved in our team, okay, and we need actually API key, okay, and
Yes.
particular API key that we required for that we have to involve that team, and team is busy with other stuff, and they have not given in time actually that API key or process. Okay, so we cannot start that. So we have not
So
identified
API
the
key,
dependency.
maybe the credentials for that API key were not discussed, and now we are waiting for that credentials and the story is blocked.
Yes.
Nobody talked about the credentials. Is that
Yes. Right. Yeah.
or
Yes.
something like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
So then how do you fix it?
So, so first of all, actually, we have to think actually capacity of that because see, my story is blocked, so we have to take other story, right? And how to what I can say.
No, how do you fix this issue? You fix this issue by having a detailed grouping calls where you sort out these
Or
dependencies
mock APIs.
or mock APIs. That is also one of the. things that. But the reason what PC sir was saying, there could be hidden blockers. Hidden blockers are when we do not do a detailed analysis of these stories, and we miss out on discussing the details of the dependencies. So we have to discuss the details on the dependencies. Otherwise, these hidden blockers could come into the picture. Okay, fair enough. What else? This is fair. How do you fix it? You fix hidden or hidden dependencies. We have discussed dependencies, but there are hidden dependencies because we did not get into the details. So for every story, you should prepare a list of dependencies. So if you prepare a list of dependencies, then there are chances. I mean, do a proper documentation in the grooming call itself. If you do a detailed analysis, then that's the only way to find these. Okay, this is done. What else?
Okay, but sir, actually, question now actually. Okay, but sir, if that is blocker, okay, that particular story is blocked, then how we can, I mean, go ahead. Within that sprint, actually, that story will not. I mean, we cannot deliver that
So
story,
there are
right?
two things to it. Number one, if we cannot do this in that sprint, you will pick up some other story for that sprint. But as a corrective action, you will make sure next time, whenever grooming happens, you will learn it from this incident. And for the next set stories, please make sure the detailed analysis is done so that we are able to pick up these hidden dependencies. But we will never be 100%, but as much as you can. So the only way to do it is by having a detailed grooming session where you list out these dependencies.
Overestimation. Okay, only one point, right?
Some people are not joined and then they are able to. Abhilasha, my manager is calling. Oh God. Fine. Okay. So we have done with 4 or 5 reasons. What else?
Sir, can I?
That's,
Hello.
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, technical debt and poor tuning can be one reason.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So the reason might be the technique for this is slow development and outdated tooling, which is a common problem in most of the
Yes.
organizations,
Yes.
which
Yes.
increases the defects and reduces the team productivity.
Yes.
So the root cause for this is short-term delivery pressures, means the higher
Yes.
management is pressuring that you have to do it. Then
Yes.
quick fixes, sometimes the
Yes.
we have to do technical fixes and the developer do it just this, and that is not a permanent fix. It is just a patching work. So
Yes.
it can again reoccur in the next sprint. Then
Yes.
outdated tools and infrastructure, means for the costing purpose, they still uses the oldest version, and which causes the productivity and the quality of our product. And the solution I will provide for this is clear transparency, means encourage your team to log the technical debt, means the costing and this tooling purpose is not our end, but at least we can uh, tell the management that because of these reasons, means by logging this, we can tell them that because of these reasons, we are lagging and we are not achieving that much of productivity. So if you provide us this, then we can give us more than what we are providing till now. Then improve development practice, means promote code reviews. Then we
Good.
can also pair programming.
Hmm.
Whoever is senior in the team, he can encourage the team. Then manual testing also can be converted into automation testing. Then we can implement the
So that's
CI/CDs.
testing. Let's put another topic, but
Yeah.
this is fair. This reason is good enough that because of the technical debt, we could end up facing problems. We could end up facing a code which is very difficult to develop further for features. And how do you fix them? By making sure better engineering practices are there. and we don't avoid the shortcuts. Yeah, and rest of what you said is perfect. There is no problem.
Okay.
Okay, this is fine.
Yeah. Thank
Let's testing. Will Priyanka, let's go with you here next. But Omkar sir, very good here. This is good. What you did. Yes, Priyanka.
So, one of the problems could be that the stories are not estimated properly. They were overestimated, the story points.
I was waiting for this. This is the yes, very good. Yeah, go ahead.
So, and the root cause can be if it's a new team, then then there can be a problem that they need some few sprints to get used to the product, and then it might get better with time. And the senior, yeah, yeah, but that can be, I think, one of the root causes, maybe.
Yes.
And
No, and let's do this further. Underestimating stories is one of the key reasons where, so as an example, let us say we could not estimate the API complexity. Maybe we needed multiple endpoints we could not identify. Maybe we needed more DB joints when we need than what we required. So sometimes the team does not estimate the technical complexities in the given story. So how do you fix it? By introducing what is called technical spike. So let us say PO says, boss, let us add multi-currency support to our application. So now we are supporting rupees. Let's support pounds also. Let's support dollar also. Let's support crypto also, whatever. So the team, now that's a very big requirement. The team is not sure on how to do this. So rather than straight away jumping in the story, let's do a research. If we include a foreign currency, then what is the gateway we are going to use? What is the mechanism? What is the security protocol? So in agile terms, we say that let us introduce a spike story. Spike story is a story which the team will do if they are not sure of the complexity of the story. If they think the story is very complex, they don't know a lot of things, let them do a research first and then start the actual story. So if you have to do a research where you have to find more information on some technical solution, that story is called a technical spike story. So you will do a spike story where you will find out the solution and then start the actual story. That will help. So sometimes if the team says, boss, this is too complex, maybe a 20-pointer, you say, okay, let's not start this story. Let's first do a spike on this. Let's do a research on this. First, find more information on it. Once you will have the more information, then you can start the actual story. So if the team is underestimating the stories, then a technical spike for unknown areas before the estimation is the solution. Then second is planning poker. Challenge the low estimates. If somebody is saying 5 points, if everybody is saying 5 points, couple of people are saying 13 points, listen to them. Why are they saying 13 points? Are the 5 if the team is thinking 5 points, then are they able to convince the 13 pointers? Next time, if whosoever is doing the higher estimates, listen to them, why they are saying it. And then that is also one of the solutions for it. Challenge the low estimates in the estimation calls. Then have buffer for critical items. Always have a 10 to 20%. If people are thinking it may need, so if you are doing an hourly estimation, if people are thinking 50 hours, give a buffer of 10 to 15%. Give it 60 hours. If they are thinking 80 hours, give them 100 hours. Have a 10-20% buffer. If the team is struggling, if they're underestimating the story, introduce a buffer of 10 to 20%. So spike stories, challenge the low estimates, add the buffer. Those are 3 solutions. See, in the interview, if you tell the reasons that are not good enough, you have to tell the solutions also, boss. So typically, like you guys answered this question, I will search for it. I will talk to the team. Arey, that is all bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Tell me the exact reasons. Exact reasons is underestimation of stories. How do you fix it? You fix it by doing technical spikes. You challenge the low estimates in planning poker. You add buffer. Now that's a real answer. You got this, right?
Yes, sir. So also picking up story points, stories which have large story points, that can also be a reason.
Yes.
Okay.
Picking up stories which are very large. So we are not able to complete it. That is basically same thing, underestimation of the story.
Okay.
Okay, that is good. Yeah. So what else? So far, underestimating story size, unclear requirements, unexpected technical challenge or blockers, external dependencies. What else? Overcommitment. Overcommitment is basically poor sprint planning only. What else? Inadequate skill, people said, technical skill or communication skill. What else? Somebody said team member unavailability. That also. Maybe
Scope creep. Scope
beautiful.
creep might be one of the reason.
Beautiful. So explain that.
So, scope creep is something like where the product owner or stakeholder might reprioritize the new features. So, he might introduce new features in the mid sprint. So, because of that, the whole sprint gets disrupted, and due to this, the spillover can
Give me
happen.
more detailed example. Sorry, I'm going to grill you guys even more now. Give me specific example. How did this happen and what did you do?
Okay, so during the mid sprint, the stakeholders they wanted to introduce a new feature which is very critical, and it is competitive in the market, and they wanted that to be released
No, if
in
it is
as
a
soon as possible.
critical feature, then we will take it. Then, but how did it impact you? How did it result in a spillover?
Let's see, because of that, whatever the story we have committed to complete in the current sprint would would
That you had put back to the product backlog, right? That reprioritization you told it has done. So why there's a spillover then? Sorry.
Okay.
That-
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So maybe all the stories which you have picked in this
Oh,
sprint might be critical, and everything needs to go in the
If
sprint.
everything is critical, then there is no criticality. People may not be using Moscow or some other method.
বলবো এখনই বলবো
See,
Okay.
sometimes the interviewers will be very aggressive. Okay, so I'm just initially it was
Yeah.
fine, but now in the last few days I will be very aggressive. So see, so you can say typically let us say there is a requirement which the developer is working on. Typically PO will sneak in an extra acceptance criteria. They will say just add 2 extra fields. If there is any change in the scope of a story, then it becomes a big problem. Not only new features are a problem, but the existing stories, if they add 1 or 2 acceptance criteria, or they enhance, or they want more in the acceptance criteria, that is also a scope creep. So what I do is I will lock the stories, sir, in Jira. We have a mechanism. I will lock the stories. So if you have to add any acceptance criteria, you have to unlock the story. For that, you need to get an approval from product manager or somebody else. That way, see, otherwise what happens is it's a 5-pointer. Now you add 2 acceptance criteria. It does not remain a 5-pointer. It becomes an 8-pointer. Similar, but they will not change the points. Then if it is a 8-pointer, you add 1 or 2 acceptance criteria, or within an acceptance criteria you modify something, it becomes a 13-pointer. So these are typical things that can happen in a sprint. PO will chop chop, they will just ping the developer, can you do this also, because they have missed this thing in the grooming. So they will, so how do you avoid it? You lock those stories in Jira, or you tell the developers that, boss, if there is any change in the acceptance criteria, then you have to declare it. If PO asks for it, that is fine, but you declare it in the DSU. And any change, any bloody change in the acceptance criteria, PO has to call an emergency meeting and explain why he wants a change so that everybody is aware. Because if he just tells the developer, then maybe there is some dependent story on this, some other developer will also be impacted. The QA also has to design a test case for that acceptance criteria. He may design something else and he will get something else. Isn't that what happens in the real life? चुप कैसे चेंज कर देंगे और बैठे रहेंगे, एक आदमी को बता दिया बाकी किसी को पता नहीं है, and then all hell breaks loose in the stakeholder meeting in sprint review. अरे ये कहाँ, everybody else has no clue. So how do you avoid it? The one problem which you will get because of this is you will not be able to complete the story, because originally you had set for 4 acceptance criteria, you add one more, it changes the estimation. So how do you fix it? You fix it by making sure that no secret change is happening. There is a transparency. And if there is a change, PO calls an emergency grooming call and explains why he wants to do this change so that everybody is aware of. Maybe on 3rd day, I am the PO, I tell Mohammed, okay, you have to add this 3 fields also into this report. On 5th day, he takes a leave. Maybe Venkatesh has to do this story now, but Venkatesh has no clue that this has to be done. So it's a big problem. So whatever changes PO brings, 1, you have to explain it to the entire team. 2, if there is change in the original scope of the story, then there is a re-estimation of the story. You can accommodate 1 or 2 slight changes, but if they are doing it as a trend, then you stop it by locking those stories in Jira. And if there is any change, okay, you go and ask for an approval from product manager or stakeholder. If the approval comes, then you say, boss, there is a change in the scope of the story. The original estimate is changed. Team will maybe not able to complete its sprint goal. So from next time onwards, product owners will be very careful. Okay.
And even we can introduce the change management process.
Change management process. This is the change management process.
Okay,
This
so
is
locking
the change management process, that for any change in the acceptance criteria, you need to get an approval. That's the change management process.
Okay.
Okay. So you understood what you have to. So you can give the right examples also. Okay. What else? Scope creep. I hope everybody understands, and give specific examples, real-time specific examples. Okay. So
Build or deployment failures.
Very good. Deployment failures. That is very good. Yeah, actually, deployment failures are a problem. Yes. So how do you fix them? We lost Kiran. Okay. Yeah. So what do you do for those issues?
We'll introduce CI/CD. If it is a
Baba.
manual process.
Okay. During CI/CD, I'll discuss a little bit more. But for now, if there are deployment issues, then you speak to the DevOps team and find out what are the reasons. If it is from their end, if it is from our team's end, there could be merging conflicts and all. Then our team can fix it, but your tech leads and architect can look into it. If it is from the infra side, DevOps side, then they can get into this. I will explain you more when we get into CI/CD. Hey, what is happening? 10 people were there, now 7 are left. What is? People are running away from this topic. Okay. I think there is some. Okay, fine. So this is good here. Deployment issues, yes. See, you have at least 9 or 10 reasons now. Why should we hire you? Because I know why the teams fail. So they will ask why the teams fail. These are the reasons, these are the causes, these are the solutions. If you can explain them, you show me a recording where you are able to explain this in an interview and they reject you. I will be very interested if you are able to show me that record. There are very few people who can understand these things and explain properly. You will be, but please work on how you explain this clearly with examples. Okay.
Sorry, sir, my net was a problem. So
no problem.
It was fine, right, sir? The the build and deployment.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I think we've covered most of them. Anything else we have missed? There is one definitely we have missed. Very important reason. What else? That I will explain. But is there anything else?
Product owner availability.
Product owner availability. Okay. You are using all your blockers here. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, that's fine.
Weak definition of done.
Weak
Missing something.
How?
I mean something.
You are saying DOD, but
Yeah.
you are marking the story as completed, but they are still opening it. I mean, they are reopening it because it is not completed. PO rejects it or something like that. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, like that only. But okay, second thing is that actually suppose the QA is validating some. I mean QA is testing. Okay, and that definition of done is not exist in the DOR, and that was missed out, and
DOD,
we
yeah.
deliver the
Definition of done is not there. Okay, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, specific validation was missed. Okay, and for example, our balance for a banking transaction. Okay, so the balance is not there, and validation is that greater than zero balance. That particular report should not be issued. Okay, but that is it is very sensitive things. So that particular report is sending to the some other, I mean, customer and all. So that was the, I mean, that particular point is missed because of DOR, like that. It's not constructive this thing example, but
No. This is fine. Okay. Now, there's another one I want to highlight, that is lack of, what do you say, bottlenecks in QA or lack of testing. So QA is a big issue, especially in Agile, because QAs are used to having code already developed, and then they have this tendency to wait for the development to complete, and then they will start. That is one. The other is if the and the other is the development team will suddenly dump their stories on the 8th day. They will complete everything on 8th day. They will give it to Priyanka on day 9. Priyanka, you can test. And obviously Priyanka cannot test on day 9. Oh, because of the testing, we had a spillover. But that's not correct, right? So you have to plan it in such a way that every story does not end on day 8 or day 9. Then, so a lot of teams I see, what they do, they will develop in one sprint, development completed. In the next sprint, they will test it and fix the bugs. That's not agility. You can do that in the starting, but that's not ideal. You understood, right? You have completed development in one sprint, and after day 9 or day 10, development is complete. In the next sprint, they will test it and fix the bugs. That is also not, because in that case, instead of a 10-day sprint, have a 20-day sprint. That is fine. Have a 20-day sprint. But at the end of the sprint, you should have completed stories. But if you have a 10-day sprint and a 10-day testing, then that's basically you are doing waterfall. So ideally, what you should do is have smaller stories. So a story, a 3-pointer or a 5-pointer, because those are the stories that will be available to QAs in the very first week also. I'm going a little bit advanced now. Assuming that you have understood the basics of agility, then this is a little advanced topic I'm doing. So typically teams struggle. So if you have a 3-pointer, 5-pointer, then those are the stories that will be available to a QA early on. If you're doing everything which is an 8-pointer, then QA will get stories on 9th day or 10th day. They will not be able to complete. So, and then it will be termed as a spillover. You will say development completed, but testing is not done. That's a spillover. But why that is a spillover? Because the stories were not small enough, or your sprint length is incorrect. If typically your stories is taking 6, 7, 8 days, then you can't have to complete development. If your team is taking 6, 7, 8 days, then you cannot have a 10-day sprint. You can have a 15-day sprint, and that is also fine. Sometimes the products are complex. They may have extra layers. It's a legacy code, too many dependencies. Then you cannot complete things in 5 days. Fine. If the development is typically taking 6, 7, 8, 9 days, then have a 15-day sprint. On the 7th day, 8th day, 9 days, I need to QA will also have 3, 4 days to test it, and then you can. You understood. So 2 reasons: either the stories are not small enough, or your sprint length is 10 days. That is too short. So a lot of teams are obsessed with 10-day sprint because यही पता है sprint होती है 2 week की, तो बस यही करेंगे. That's not correct. It could be your sprint length depends on your development cycle. If team is struggling, at least initially you can start with a 15-day sprint. Once the team gets used to it, they are able to split the stories into smaller chunks, then you could do a 10-day sprint. 10-day sprint is a very aggressive way of working. So typically you should start with a 15-day sprint, and that is what my experience tells me. 15-day sprint is a good balance. And then if these guys are, if this is the scenario, if these guys are struggling to complete the stories. Is this clear to? If you can explain in this manner, they will know that you have worked and you have struggled and you know what is what. That is why I'm giving you these examples. Is this good? Okay. Okay, I think we have discussed a lot of things. This is enough here. We may have missed 1 or 2 that we can, but
I just wanted to add negative feedback in the review.
Negative feedback.
Yeah, if we receive negative feedback in the sprint review, then it can adversely.
That is also a spillover. You think the story is completed, but the stakeholders tell you no, there are bugs, or they did not like something, or there is some minor enhancement. Yes. Yeah. That's basically your weak definition of that. You may have overlooked an acceptance criteria. You may have not tested it properly, or some bugs may not have been fixed and you are showing it to the stakeholder. So that's your weak DOD, what PC sir pointed out. So yes, that is also one of the points.
But one more reason I feel that the morale of the team.
If the team is low morale, then they may not be able to complete stories. They are not motivated enough to complete the work.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, there are so many reasons. We could write a book also, but fine. This is too much. God knows what will happen to your interviewer. What if he asked Nagesh, Venkatesh sir, what are the reasons? He will speak for 2 hours.
That today I have given the interview. Actually, that's what I was late actually.
Okay.
The interview took 1 hour, more than 1 hour.
Huh?
He asked me the same question. He asked me some typical questions like, what you are in a mid sprint, and product and the senior stakeholder is directly coming to you. You are a scrum master and directly coming to you instead of going to the product owner. And he asked me, he asked you to the important feature which has to be inculcated in that sprint itself. Now, as a scrum master, what you will do? Then I said that okay, stakeholders can never meet me or any of the team, but what I have to maintain is that the product backlog items, if there is adapting any if you're adapting any product backlog item, then that is the accountability of the product backlog. I have to listen to him, understand his concern, make a note of it, and I have to inform the product owner because he is the one who is having accountability.
Basically, you will call a meeting with the product owner. After listening to him, you will call a meeting with product owner and the stakeholder, understand the requirement, establish its criticality. If it is critical, then you will involve the team, then whatever steps.
He asked me another question. If there is a scenario where user stories, PO is not able to write, maybe is not good at writing the user stories. Can you say that any developer or a QA or a Scrum Master, you as a Scrum Master can write a user story? Then I said, yes, I can help the product. No, 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 not yes, sir, actually. I can help the product owner.
Huh.
But what the main thing we have to keep in mind is that product backlog items are the responsibility, the accountabilities of the PO. PO is not understanding it that we can help them. But even a developer can help the product owner, even a scrum master can help the product owner, but the accountability lies with the product owner itself.
Good.
Because there should be a single source of truth where it is
Correctly, sir.
accountable.
आपने very good.
So then again he asked me again that question. No. Can the developer write a product user story? That's what I'm asking. No. Then he can write a user story, but product owner is
technical story he can write.
then I said add something that the product owner can write the user story. The acceptance criteria may be adapted by the development team. That can be done, but it is also in concurrence with the product owner only.
If it is a technical, so let us say we have to optimize the code. That ideally should be a technical task. So stories is supposed to be functional stories. And of course, like you said, acceptance criteria, developers, QAs, they can have suggestions. We can negotiate with the product owner. We can have those discussions, but ultimate authority of writing a story and putting up the acceptance criteria lies only and only with the product owner. And as a Scrum Master, if the PO is not aware, then you will explain him the structure of the story. As a user, this is the action, this is the advantage. You will explain him what is an acceptance criteria. You will explain him what is why we need an acceptance criteria. You will explain him invest. You will coach him on those things. And you may be with the organization, you will also consult with your agile coach or your agile competency, and you will make sure your PO is trained to write good user stories. But you are aware of invest, you will explain him invest, you are aware, you will give him 2 or 3 examples, 5 examples, whatever, you will explain him these things, and slowly he will start writing good stories.
Then one more question, sir. What are the types of user stories? Then I said the types of users. Can you give me some more light so that I can understand? Okay, it's okay, no issue. Then he said that have you ever listened a word called spike? Hello?
This is my mistake. I did not explain spike earlier.
Then I said that yes, I have listened spike, and to my understanding of spike, we have steps spike where if the user story is completely having a high certain of ambiguity, and we are not having any clue of it, when there is experimentation or when there is a research is required, then we will use a spike, and that spike should not be taken as a what I mean to say as a blocker and obstruction, but we will then he asked me one question after that my stopping that question. Then he asked okay, what are the key takeaways of your spike? Then I said that the spikes are very useful for understanding what we are lagging. There will be many lessons learned, and we will understand what are the dependencies we have not anticipated. That also we will be understanding after the spike has been resolved. So he said okay. Then okay, he asked me one more question. Explain the Scrum. You have 3 minutes. Explain what is Scrum in 3 minutes. That's the last question. And user stories. PO is pushing, same question. So this question is common question. PO is pushing. Then I had explained with the scenario, and that scenario he had some 5 to 6 cross questions. And he asked me one more thing. So TWA. What is TWA? Then I said, I am extremely sorry. I haven't listened to this term. Can you explain more? There are team working agreement.
Oh, working agreements, yes. Yeah, that's
then he said something. He explained me what is team agreement.
Working agreement we have spoken about. Working agreement is people are interrupting in DSU. We have a working agreement that nobody interrupts. Working agreements are a way to resolve issues. That is fine. We have discussed that.
Some other questions. Agile coaching. How have you done agile coaching? And what are the challenges you have faced? If the team is completely new, how did you handle the situation? And what is the sprint? What are the main challenges you faced in sprint retrospective? Explain me with a scenario. Then what are the estimation estimation techniques? Not explain me what is estimation technique, but where people have product owners and the development team is completely new, they cannot estimate it. And how do you explain them how to estimate? And what are the challenges you face in estimating? And explain me what actually how estimation is helpful and why do people estimate? These are the questions actually. So I have explained him. I've explained him. Then it is
Again, estimations, blockers,
occurs.
Scrum principles, Agile principles, Moscow, invest, user story, same. So now you are getting used to. So this was a mock or a real time?
Really, suddenly I got a call and they scheduled an interview today itself.
Good.
He also asked me about SAFE and he also asked me about Kanban. Then a Kanban I also explained him. I answered all the questions, but I don't know what tomorrow I'll be knowing what actually how it goes actually.
That's fine. But 99% you have all the questions were questions which we have already discussed.
Yes, correct, sir.
Right. Spike, I did not explain earlier, but it's good that you knew. So I explained Spike today. Story splitting is something which we are going to discuss probably next week. But I think now, so nothing is untoward. You guys should be able to crack these interviews. The only thing is, don't be overconfident. And PPT. Please read 3, 4, 5 times PPT. Go through the sessions. It should be enough. And all of this hard work is till you get into, you do 3 or 4 or 5 interviews. After your 3, 4, 5 interviews, Venkatesh sir, same questions will be in the next interview also. So once you do 3, 4, then you are okay, you can do it. Somebody wakes you up 2 o'clock in the night, then also you can do an interview. When I started, I must have taken around 100, 150 interviews till, I think, I must have attended more than 150 to 200 interviews. I have this habit of, I have attended interviews for all sorts of things, data scientist also, testing, anything and everything. Arey, pata to chale, pooch kya rahe hain. I can get into anything. That's not a problem. I mean, this is how I look at life. बोर हो गए से कुछ और करते हैं चलो इंटरव्यू देते हैं so I do that but I don't suggest you guys have to do it but once you give 3 4 5 6 interviews it's fun it's thrill yeah just to the high of clearing an interview is unparalleled with anything else in life. It is the one of the most beautiful things that life has to offer, clearing an interview. So I actually chase that high all the time. But once you give 3 4 5 6 interviews, then that's it. That's your hard work done. Then it will repeat them. The questions will repeat, so you don't have to worry. But good, yeah, good, nice. Hey, all of you have enrolled for the mock interview, right? Murder लिखा है मेरे हाथ में next week. I'm telling. किसका मुझे नहीं पता. But please, yeah, give a mock interview. You guys know enough now, yeah. Okay.
Sir,
So we
by
have
the
to
way,
give the resume also during the mock interview. We have to share the resume also.
Yes, they will assess your CV also whether it is good enough or it has some gaps in it. Yeah, PC sir.
by the way, sir, type of stories means actually functional story and
Functional and
technical, right?
that is enough. Actually, there is other things also, but let's not get there. This is enough for a Scrum Master, functional and technical. If it is a PO interview, then you are expected to know something else also. But for a Scrum Master, functional and technical stories is enough. Okay, I think good for today. Tomorrow again we'll meet. Then we have 2 weeks actually. When is the last 4th of October? 4th of October is a Saturday, or it can't be 4th. It has to be 3rd then.
Second is a holiday.
Second is a holiday. No, but second is a holiday. So third is the last, right?
And 15th we had a holiday, right? August 15th.
August, I don't know. I don't remember. Anyways, if it is 4th, then one of these days we could have a 1.5, 2 hour session also. I'm going to cover everything, don't worry. Okay, everything will be covered. So no worries on that. Okay, can we wind up for today? You guys are clear, right, on spillovers, spillover reasons. These are the exact reasons why we should hire you, how you will improve the team, how you will fix problems, everything. These are the answers. But again, no bullshitting, exact reasons, root causes, and the solutions. And you will, the process, of course, the process is that you will discuss these reasons with the team after the review or during the retrospectives. But these are the typical reasons, and these are the typical solutions. Okay. Is this, yeah, PC sir.
Sir, so technical stories can write by developer, right?
Yeah, actually, there is
As
a,
per
this is a little advanced topic, but I'll still answer you. So some organizations and some teams say that story should only be a functional story. If it is a technical story, rather than a technical story, put it in a technical task. So if you are a developer, you want to optimize the code, create a technical task. It should not be a story. Story should also be only be used for feature development. But there are other teams that say, okay, as a developer, I want to optimize UI page so that it loads faster. And then you can write a bunch of acceptance criteria. But ideally, these technical tasks should be, technical things should be tasks, and stories should be only functional stories. But some teams write technical stories also. As a database architect, I want to create a cloud database so that the application can run, and he writes a bunch of that. It's acceptable, but not pure agile. Pure agile is you create technical tasks for technical things and stories for functional things.
yeah, because syntax and all also we are putting in the story, right? If it is technical, this thing story. Okay, so syntax and all. For example, I wanted to create one table. Okay, so create table like that, so and so name and columns and all.
So
So that
let us
structure,
say, but
yeah,
why are you creating a table for a particular feature, right?
yeah.
So
So
that
that documentation also there, right? In story, right?
uh, yes, yes.
Under that subtask.
You can create a subtask for those table creation or documentation. Everything you can create a subtask.
Mhm. Okay.
Sir, syntax, in what case it can be a user story? Maybe it can be as a acceptance criteria.
No. Maybe as an example. So what he is trying to say is that if it is a technical task to build some feature, then that can be added as a task. That's what you meant, no? This is
Yes, right. Yes.
okay. Okay. Anything else? Should we wind up? Actually, I'm hungry today, so I didn't have dinner, so tomorrow is Friday. We'll have a extended this thing. Okay, so we'll wind up today, and tomorrow we will cover hopefully few scenarios. Conflict management is also something I want to cover it in little bit detail, and then we'll go to the scenarios. Okay. Okay, I'll just do a quick poll and then we can wind up for today. But please make sure you have written everything which we covered today. Very, very important, this thing. Key reasons for spillover and metrics, estimations. These three are like core. Okay, team. Have a nice. See you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah.